All right, in this video, I'm going to show you a case study of a fixed fee legal service that I ran a Google Ads campaign for, and I'm still running the campaign for. It's ongoing, and the kind of results you can expect when this is done right. So this particular case study is of a fixed fee prenup service. That's all we're advertising with this particular campaign that you can see here on the screen. This is for a fixed fee prenup offer where basically people who want a prenup can go and get the prenup, inquire about this and get it at a fixed fee upfront cost so they know what the cost is. There's a few elements behind this that I want to discuss in this case study, and I'll show you the results of the Google Ads first, and then I'll show you a few things that made this quite successful to do with the offer and how we actually ran it. So first of all, the Google Ads campaign, I want to show you the results that we got. This campaign we've been running since about October last year until March 2025. Again, that's the date today, March 14th. It's still running and we're actually scaling it up as we speak. So it's by no means finished, but it's been running for about 6 months or so. And what you can see here is that we've had a total of 119 inquiries about this. And this is only tracking form submissions. So anyone who's actually submitted the form on the page, which is all there is, this is counting that. So that's not including other phone calls that may have come through, which some did come through and things like that, right? We've had about 119 inquiries. Average cost per conversion is about $120. And the client has told me that they're closing about 25% of them. What we're seeing here, if we take a look at the last few months, especially this year, is that the cost per acquisition has gone down significantly. You can see now it's $97 from this year. And if we go only last 2 months, so from February to March, you can see that the cost per acquisition's come down to $82. And this is actually still coming down due to the way I'm running this campaign. So what I want to discuss is a couple of things, because there's something interesting about the way I ran this campaign and then also about the actual offer. So firstly, with regards to the campaign, I tested a slightly new strategy here, which seems to be becoming more and more important with the way Google is doing its thing, especially in 2025, where a lot of CPCs have become significantly inflated. Basically, one angle I took was running an exact match campaign using the method that I normally recommend. If you watch some of my YouTube videos and things like that, normally recommend this strategy. And this one is working quite well, which is exact match keywords, targeting the very specific keywords. We're running this one on maximize clicks. And we've been running that since the beginning. And you can see that the average cost per lead or form submission on this is $150. And if we go all time, we'll just go all time here. You can see on average, it's about $150. So that's what it's been costing pretty much the entire time. However, alongside that, what I also did is I ran a broad match campaign using the same keywords, the same ads, the same landing page, just set them all to broad match and set it to target cost per acquisition. So basically maximize conversion bidding with a target CPA. Now the target CPA I actually set to 140, which was just below what the other one is running at, which is 150. However, this campaign on its own, even with that, is getting an average cost per conversion of $31. Now, what's very interesting about this, and I'm going to openly admit it, is that the way this campaign is running and the search terms that it's matching with and all of these things, and you can see this has been running since end of January, so a month and a half, and it's been quite successful, and it's had a total of 35 inquiries come through that, is that it is matching with all kinds of search terms I would never personally select to run Google Ads on. However, in this particular case, it is working, and I can't deny the fact that it is working. Broad match strategy, letting Google's systems just do its thing. Now, there's a couple of notes there with that, and that is that not every search term in there is good. There are some that are blatantly not right, and I have to go in through the search terms and I have to keep excluding some of them, okay? But with this one, because it's doing so well, I'm not touching too much and I'm not interfering too much because it's just working, and I don't want to touch it and influence it when it's actually still getting a very good cost per lead. And now what's important here is I've spoken to the client a couple times and we've analyzed all the leads that have come through, and we have not noticed a significant drop off in quality, which means that the leads that are coming through are still good quality. So there isn't that concern there, which I was initially concerned that could be happening, but it isn't. And so what's happening in this case is Google's system clearly got enough data from our exact match campaign and was able to optimize correctly to get a good conversion rate at a good cost with the same quality conversions. Now, I think the reason this happened is because the initial campaign was successful in itself, albeit at a much higher cost per acquisition, but we had a lot of conversions come through before I launched that campaign. So if we take a look from September, which was just before we started, until end of January, which was just before I launched that new campaign, you can see here there's only one conversion came through, so it just started. We had 58 conversions come through the exact match campaign. And I believe that data is what allowed the broad match campaign to work. If we had just launched the broad match campaign on a brand new account with no conversion data, I think it wouldn't be as successful, at least in the beginning. Eventually, when you have enough numbers come through, I think that it would probably end up working as well, but you might end up spending more and it might take longer. And so this is the reason why, if you've watched some of my other videos, you'll see how I talk about starting the first campaign you ever run as an exact match campaign with maximized clicks to just get a baseline and get some conversion data in without giving it too much room to do its thing. Because what would happen is if you ran broad match initially, it would start matching for all kinds of stuff with no guidance. Whereas now it at least had some guidance because it had 58 conversions to use to optimize the account for. And that gives it a much better idea of what kind of person is going to convert on your ads. And because obviously they look at who it is, various different data points they have on each individual who's on Google, it now knows who to show the ad for. And that's why this is working so well. So while I have previously not normally recommended broad match, with these inflated CPCs that are happening, as you can see here, the CPC on the exact match campaign is $17 or $18 versus $4 CPC on the broad match one. This sort of experimenting with this strategy, let's put it that way, would be a good idea if you have good conversion data in your account. So that's my new stance on this. And this is a strategy I'm currently testing out on a broader scale with a few other accounts as well to see if this works. I would not recommend going all broad with no exact match and not having any trying to guide it at all and just letting it just do its thing, because I don't think that's going to work too well. It may or may not, but you're rolling the dice. Whereas if you do a split test like this and run both campaigns, at least then you have a shot at getting the correct data in, which is what you want, and then getting the broad match to optimize for that. And you have to be careful what data you're sending back as well, because you could be getting a lot of conversions, but they might not be the calls you want. They might be the wrong kind of matters. They could be, for example, like free consultations, people price shopping, wrong language, wrong location, all kinds of things. So you have to be very, very careful with that as well. Don't just trust the data in here. You want to analyze what's really going on. So that's that with this side. I wanted to share this because I thought it was quite interesting, an example of what I would consider quite a successful campaign that we're actually actively scaling as a result of using this strategy. Now, the second thing I want to bring up is the offer of this, which is that we are essentially selling this almost as a product on the actual website. So on the website, it talks about the fact that it's a fixed fee prenup, and it also has the actual price listed on the landing page. And so it almost is like a product, except they fill out the form and then get a consultation to see, if they need and this will work for them. But that's also something. The offer is very good because it's addressed the common problems with prenups, which is that people don't know how much they're going to cost. A lot of lawyers don't want to upfront commit to a price, and so people don't know what they might end up paying. It could be thousands of dollars. Sometimes they go up to $6,000 to $8,000 for a prenup, whereas in this case, this is below $3,000 for what they're offering. And so it hits on the price, and it hits on the fact that they know exactly what they're going to be paying for. And so that offer worked really well. And so that's another thing you have to consider is, what are you actually offering? If you're just saying the same thing as every other law firm, you can basically expect average results. But if you have an offer that is a lot better than what everyone else is offering, or at least stands out in some way, like it does in this case, then you can expect better results if everything is targeted correctly. So that's it for this video. This is an example of, again, a Google Ads campaign for a very specific offer and a very specific service that's actually working quite well using this strategy. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Catch you on the next one.